G'day. The billboards near the airport are empty, but I think there's some learnings in that for us. Yesterday I drove some friends to the airport here in KL because they finally got their repatriation flight back to Thailand. And like many airports, of course, the last few kilometres before you hit the airport, on the side of the highways you've got these massive billboards. And they're always full. They've always got advertisers on them. The only time you'll see a blank space up there is when they're transitioning one ad for another. But yesterday, I reckon about half of them were empty and they weren't transitioning. And so I say to myself, what can we learn from that? Well, the first thing is, it's a real sign that business is bad. And I'm not sure that you want to tell the world your business is bad, do you? I mean, I think we all understand now that business is bad, but those sort of images, because it's such a stark image, you're used to seeing it full of ads, now you've got blank screens. It's the sort of thing that I think you would remember if you're a potential advertiser. You're going to remember that in the future when you think about maybe placing those ads on those billboards, and you'll probably say, it's not such a great business. Maybe. So I wouldn't keep the billboards empty. But what could they have done instead? Well, the most obvious thing I think would be to just keep the old ads up there. I mean, your previous customers had paid for the ads anyway, assuming they paid their bills, of course. So why not give them a little bit of free airtime, because you're not selling them anyway. The other thing you could do, of course, is advertise the advertising space. You know, your ad here. We've seen those from time to time. And you could do a combination of both. You could actually keep their ad up and put a big sticker on it that says, you know, your ad could be here. That would be one way you could keep them busy. The other thing I start thinking about is maybe people don't want to buy ads anymore in that space, ever. But you will, because I think everyone would assume that flights are going to come back. At some point in the future, we're going to fly. And that real estate is the only way to get to the airport, essentially. So people are going to see those ads. And so if they came out with the right deal, pay now, use later, something like that, get creative about their marketing and stick it up on those big billboards, I reckon you could actually sell them and get some revenue in now to see you through that spot. And the other thing that I think is really interesting is I start thinking about what happens to those advertisers. Where are they going now? Are they not advertising at all, or are they just going to a smaller spend? And that's where I think the opportunity for a lot of our businesses is. Think about, you go to a conference or an event, or in your industry magazines, you see the big companies, the big brands advertising. Well, now they don't have the events. Maybe the magazines aren't going out anymore. Or maybe they're just trying to save on their budget. So if you've got a customer database yourself, if you've got, say, 1,000 people on your mailing list, or you've got a few hundred members, then maybe you can reach out to those big brands and say, listen, for a few $100, for $1,000, I'll send out a promo to all of my members. I will actually help you advertise. It's a much, much smaller audience, of course, than what they're used to, but you price it accordingly. The price is cheap. It gives them another way to stay relevant and stay in touch, and it also makes it much more personal. So I think there's lessons in these blank billboards, and I think there's lessons in what's happening around advertising and promotion right now, and in those lessons I think are opportunities like that one. So I would be hitting up those big brands you would normally see at events or magazines. You know who they are in your industry. Hit them up and say, well, what can I do to help you promote your business, and how much is it worth to you? Because you might find yourself able to earn a little bit of revenue on the side, and that might be the difference between getting you, between you being able to see the other side of this thing or not. Alrighty, that is it for today. I do thank you for your time, and I will be back again tomorrow. See ya.